Hello, I'm Vi, and I'm here again. Hi. Today I am going to be talking about Supernatural Season 15, Episode 7, which is called Last Call. It was written by the new person. I don't know his name yet. And one of the directors. She did a good job directing this episode. It was a good episode. It was an excellent episode. Solid episode. And I'm so sad because next week is Buck Lemming. And, I don't want Buck Lemming. Buck Lemming, go away. Next week is going to be the, mid-season finale, too. Which is, not fair. Anyways, so, if you haven't watched the episode, I will be talking. I will be talking about it. And I'll be talking about all of season 15. So, if you are someone who has not watched those episodes and you don't want to get spoiled, vamos. Shoo, go away. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. So, go away. Okay? You're leaving? You're leaving. Good. Good. You're leaving. You're leaving. That's good. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, people who don't want to be spoiled. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, they're gone. By the way, if you hear sounds in the background, that's because my dad's watching Handmaid's Tale upstairs. I'm not watching Handmaid's Tale. Okay. So this episode is split into two plot lines. They start and end in the bunker. And the first plot line is Sam and Eileen and Cass are in the bunker. And Sam and Eileen are hungover. And then they're reading books to research into Chuck and Lilith. And they're being cute and domestic and shit. And then, Eileen basically suggests that, hey, I'm bored. Wanna make out? Which is just, the most juvenile thing I can fucking think of. And there's some debate amongst the people that I follow on Tumblr whether they were actually going to have hardcore makeout sesh, or whether Sam was gonna let her down gently. And I just rewatched the episode, and I honestly can't tell. Honest to God. I think it's mittensmorgul that's not sure if Sam is into Eileen. But yeah, so Cass turns up and interrupts the kiss, clearly as revenge for all the times that Sam has interrupted Destiel kisses, obviously. And Eileen is clearly I just got brought back from the dead. I deserve some fucking dick. Yeah. Okay. And because it's now Sam and Cass in the bunker, and there's no Dean around to be impulse control, what happens is what always happens whenever it's just Sam and Cass in the bunker, which is they do weird dangerous experiments on Sam's body. This happened because this has happened before. This happened to Firstborn, and I fucking remember. And Dean, you're not allowed to leave Sam and Cass in the bunker because they just get up to shit. They just do dangerous experiments on your brother. And maybe you're their impulse control, Dean. Also, Eileen is still beautiful in this episode because it's Shoshana's turn. She's really pretty. Really pretty. And cute. And she has all these, like, fun, like, commentary. Like, Cass is like, I'm going to probe it. And she's like, okay. And, like, Cass is like, maybe part of you is inside Chuck. And she's like, you. And I'm like, oh, Eileen, I love you. I'm so glad we get to see Eileen. I'm also sad that this is, like, only the 4th episode that she's turned up in. And, my friend, Matt is a Box of Frogs on Tumblr is like, yeah, I like Eileen, but I wish she'd turned up, she'd been on for longer and she turned up earlier, because then, like, I'd have a more vested interest, and I wouldn't be so, like, bitter about Samwina, because, like, mittensmorgul has written an entire essay and posted it on Tumblr and AO3, which is basically detailing Rowena's arc and why 1503 as the end of Rowena's arc doesn't make sense, and you should totally go check it out. And I think it's called Of Witches and Winchesters. And mittensmorgul goes by MittenWraith on AO3. So go check that essay out. It's really good. It's a great essay. Okay. But turns out that maybe poking the god wound is a dumb idea, because of course it's a dumb idea, because that makes sense, because it was the idea that Cass probably came up with in the shower. Cass is like, yeah, I've been thinking about your wound. It's like, you've been thinking about this in the shower. And Sam goes, and Cass calls Sergei from 1407, which is an episode that has Rowena in it, and it's a Buck Lemming episode. And, like, if it weren't for the Nick portions of the episode, it'd be an okay episode. It'd be a fine episode. It's the episode where Jack drives baby. It's real cute. It's that episode. That's the episode that Sergei is from. And in that episode, Sergei fucks up. And in this episode, Sergei deliberately fucks up, but still, Cass, baby, don't fucking trust Sergei. Ugh. But whatever. And Sergei mentions that he has a niece, and his niece is at some college or another. I think it's USC is what Sergei says. And Cass calls Bobby immediately and is like, yo, I need you to stalk this girl so I can have blackmail for her uncle. And clearly Bobby just like, yep, sure, that sounds about right. Well, Cass is getting good at this, and Sergei turns up, and he's annoying, and he makes the wound worse. And also, he says that Sam's dying, and he explains that, probing the wound was, like, forcing a rubber band to stretch, because it was forcing the soul to stretch from Sam's body into wherever it was going, which is God. And, Sergei made it worse to blackmail Cass and Eileen into getting him the key of death, which is like, Cass and Eileen don't know where that is. They don't know where that is. Also, You really think that with the number of times that Billy has probably been, Billy has been in the bunker, Billy has stolen that shit. Billy stole that shit a long while ago. But I digress. And Cass is like, yeah, I got your niece here, so no. And meanwhile, Sam is having visions of all the stuff that's been going on in Chuck's plot, the last episodes, in those episodes. And also Eileen threatens Sergei, and it's wonderful. She tosses him up against the wall. Also, Cass is being very mean this episode, and I fucking love it. He's so fucking grumpy and angry. I love him. He's angry Cass. Angry Cass is one of my favorite Casses. He's like, no one respects me. And we're like, oh. I love Cass. I love Cass so fucking much. But Sergei agrees, yeah, I'll put Sam back. And put Sam back and yeets. And Sam's like, God's weak. God's weak. This never occurred to me before. I think that we can fight God. Let's fight God. Which, like, Sammy, I love you. Yeah. But that was the other plot. That was one of the plots. The other plot that's going on is Dean's plot. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention that Cass calls Dean and on the phone and like keeps on getting voicemail, and like Cass is annoyed. But Dean left on a hunt, which like mood. Like the entire scene where he's the scene where Lee is trying to get him to come up to the stage and sing, and he's like all like awkward and like no, fuck, oh god, I can't believe I'm doing this. And also the scene in the kitchen and then in the hallway with Sam and Dean is like in both scenes. Dean's just a fucking mood. He's a mood. I was like, no, I don't have the energy for this. I don't have the energy for you and Eileen being domestic and cute as fuck because I'm sad. As a recently divorced person, I am sad. And yeah, so he goes to Texas, where in the cold open he goes to Texas, where in the cold open we see this blonde girl and her brown-haired friend, or this blonde girl named Sally and her brown-haired friend Angela. They were leaving this bar called Bee's Sugar Bar, and Sally's like super drunk, and Angela's being a good friend by getting her out of there. Good. But Sally needs to puke her guts up, and Angela sits in the car, which is like, that's not... You hold her hair back. You're her best friend, you hold her hair back. I don't care if this is the billionth time you've had to do this. You hold her fucking hair back, bitch. And Angela gets kidnapped and taken to, like, this dungeon where there's, like, this dripping blood. The monster eats the blood. Not like this. It's like there's, like, a spigot, and the demon sucks the blood. And it reminded me of the visual of the Jinn in 220. What is and what should never be, with the Jinn and how he's just slurping on the IV lines. Yeah. But Sally thinks that Angela just fucking disappeared. And clearly, because she was a good Jesus girl, she got raptured. And I was left behind because I'm not a good Christian. Oh my God. And that's like, Sally is like, oh, you've got issues. No kidding. There's also a sheriff, and the sheriff hits on Dean, and I think there was an angel reference there somewhere. I was thinking as I watched the episode, there's an angel reference here, but I can't remember it now. I can't remember now that there was what the angel reference was, but there was totally an angel reference. And the sheriff flirts with Dean hardcore, and says that usually Sally Anderson can be found at Swayze's bar. So Dean goes to Swayze's, and it turns out that there is Christian Kane playing an old hunting buddy of his, Lee Webb. I had thought that his name was gonna be Leo Webb, but apparently we got that wrong, and his name's Lee Webb. Yeah, and it's Lee's bar. It's Lee's bar. It's called Swayze's, but it's Lee's. It belongs to Lee, and his bartender's name is Lorna. And Dean's not allowed to have his phone, but this is Texas, so he can keep his gun, and I hate that. I'm also amused, but I hate that. And I have shit memory. I watched this 10 minutes ago, and Lorna has a huge crush on Dean and flirts with Dean and also slaps his butt. And Lorna's like a good... I like Lorna. She was in this episode. I don't expect to ever see her again, but she like clearly didn't know what Lee was doing, and she was like, yeah, I'll just tell you whatever. And it's clear like Lee was like trying to nudge Dean away from this, and then Lorna would be like, no, blah 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 blah, and like Lee would be like, fuck, shut the fuck up, Lorna. But Lorna never shut up. And now Lee's dead. I wonder if Lorna will get the bar. I hope Lorna gets the bar. Lorna deserves the bar. Lorna's cool. And Lee and Dean sing a song, and Lee knew John. Lee knew John, and I think there's some tangled up feelings of jealousy there that I don't want to get into here. And also apparently, Dean and Lee split a set of triplets between them once. You know who else split a pair of triplets between them? Dean and Crowley. So, what do you know the statistical likelihood of two sets of triplets being all girls is low. It's low. Not saying anything. But they sing a song, and then they toss some guys through the window because they're being dicks, and it's all very nice. And then Sally turns up, and Dean talks to Sally, and Sally's clearly a very sad person. And Dean's like, okay, yeah, I get that she's not really a reliable witness, but I'm just gonna, tick all the boxes. So where does one dump a body in this town? And God. Lee's like, in the lake. No, that's a good way to get caught, dude. And Lorna's like, bruh, no, you go to the wrecking yard. That's where you go. And Dean goes and he finds Angel's body in the trunk, and Lee knocks him out, sneaks up behind him and knocks him out. He's like, I wish you hadn't come here. And he drags him down to the married dungeon, and he explains all this stuff, and he's like clearly just super nihilistic, and he leaves Dean there to get eaten, to get drained of blood by the Merd. And between this episode and last episode with the Jins, it's interesting, isn't it, that there's been two different monsters of the weeks with that drain the blood from people. It's in very similar ways. So, because Jin drain the blood from their peoples, usually. I don't know, but yeah, that's just something I noticed. And what else? Yeah, and so Dean gets out, obviously, and kills the Merd, and he goes upstairs and he fist fights Lee. He gets in a fight with Lee, and he kills Lee. It's all very sad. And also, Dean, and also earlier in the episode, Dean says that, you're someone's best friend, you don't just leave, not without saying goodbye. And Lee responds, not if they deserve it. And that clearly, I think that hit close to home with Dean. And also here during the fight, Dean says that when something's broken, you don't just give up, you fix it, you fight for it. And he's also probably thinking about Cass there. Him and Cass. But yeah, he kills Lee, and it's sad. And then he goes back to the bunker, and him and Cass stare at each other awkwardly. And they're like, good, 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 good. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. I'm so sorry. But and they go in, and Sam's like, yeah, we can fight God. Sure you can, kiddo. Sure you can. Next week is called Our Father Who Aren't in Heaven, and the second I heard that title, I was like, shit, it's Buck Lemming. Because if you all recall, the season 11 mid-season finale, I think it was the mid-season finale, was Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So, and that was written by Buck Lemming. And that was the episode in which Sam gets tricked into going to the cage. And then the next episode, the cage gets popped open. And we know that we're gonna see Adam. And I think we also know that we're gonna see Michael. And I'm just... Can we not with Michael? Can we not have Michael come and fuck things up? Oh God. And then we have the winter hiatus, and then we'll be back with 1509, which is supposed to be the episode where Dean prays to Cass, and all the Destiel clowns, all of us Destiel clowns, are just like putting on our noses and our wigs and our big fucking shoes and painting on our face paint. We're ready to go. Kill us, cowards! Kill us! I live in pain. Anyways, so that was this episode. Yeah, so I'm Vi. You can find me on Tumblr or on AO3 as Water Lily Violet Fog. Okay. Bye.